What is up, and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess, and I'm here with my favorite Underdog Fantasy Pick'em plays for Friday, October 18th, 2024. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with the promo code DAILYDOG, DAILYDOG, one word at UnderdogFantasy.com or on the Underdog Fantasy app for a 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. This is episode number 100 of The Daily Dog. I don't know how or why or what caused us to get this far so quickly. It feels like I just started this show a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. So shout out to Sean and Ryan from SGPN for giving me a chance to do this show. I've had a lot of fun doing it for the last 100 episodes. That is 20 weeks of doing this show every day, Monday through Friday. So we have found a way to keep on going. Seasons change, the sports change, but we are on a roll. And given that it's a Friday and it's a 100th episode special, we got 5 underdog slips to get through on this day. We got 2 for Friday, 2 for Saturday, and 1 for Sunday. So we're going to get you through this whole weekend on Underdog Fantasy. And again, if you're new to the app, if you haven't listened yet, if you were waiting for episode number 100 to get involved, sign up with that promo code DAILYDOG, DAILYDOG, and get that 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. Obviously, having that 50% extra to play around with really helps your chances of turning a profit. And there's no weird rollovers, no massive 30x rollover or anything like that. It's just one-time playthrough to get your money back. So you've got all the opportunity in the world to use that promo code to your advantage. All right, let's get right to it. Friday college football slate is actually pretty awesome this week. We got Duke, Florida State. Florida State has won 20 straight games against Duke, but the fortunes have changed this year. Florida State looks like a hapless program. They just they're basically a case of the transfer portal going wrong after they lost a lot of talent in the draft and to transfer last year, and they brought in a lot of guys who have not filled the void. And I'm looking at you, DJU Youngole. Then Duke, on the other hand, they're 5-1. They've actually been pretty good. They had that great come from behind victory, a 20-point deficit to North Carolina, the rival, and they ended up winning that one 21-20. So long story short, I think Malik Murphy, the Duke quarterback, is going to have higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns in this game. The Florida State defense is checked out. Their interest in this season is long gone, and they are just trying to make it to the offseason so these guys can either transfer, declare for the draft, or try to get some NIL money from a different program. Then we're going to go to Jake Retzlaff, the quarterback for BYU. They're hosting Oklahoma State Friday night in Provo. It's going to be crazy in Mormon land. Jake Retzlaff, higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. He's a true gunslinger. He's been doing really well all year. He's been putting up numbers game after game, especially in the first half. I mean, I think that there's an extremely high chance that Retzlaff has 2 touchdowns passing in the first half of this game versus Oklahoma State, because they're another team kind of like Florida State who are just they're kind of done. Their season's over. This defense quit at home against West Virginia. If you're going to quit at home versus West Virginia, I don't like your chances in going up to Utah and Provo and playing BYU and shutting down a potent passer like Jake Retzlaff. Last one. This one's a little bit off the beaten path. Devin Mockobee, running back for Purdue, higher than 43.5 rushing yards against Oregon. Obviously, Oregon is pretty good defensively. They just had that massive game against Ohio State last week, and then Purdue almost beat Illinois last week as like a 22-point underdog. So there might be a little changing of the fortunes for Purdue there. I don't think Purdue is going to beat Oregon by any means in this game, but I do think that there is a chance they can keep it close, and by keeping it close, or if they keep it close, it's going to be because they're moving the ball on the ground with Devin Mockobee, who is a very underrated running back in this game. So yeah, I can see him putting up 50-plus yards in this game, and we only need 43.5 for him to hit his higher with this pick'em slip. So this 3-leg slip for Friday college football is Malik Murphy, Duke quarterback, higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. Jake Retzlaff, BYU quarterback, higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. Devin Mockobee, running back for Purdue, higher than 43.5 rushing yards, 5.7x multiplier. All right, we're going to go back to the formula that almost worked for us yesterday in Major League Baseball in the ALCS. We're going Luis Gil, higher than 1.5 earned runs allowed. I just think that the fortunes are changing in this series. I thought the Guardians would win yesterday. They did in dramatic fashion. I thought Jose Ramirez would produce. He had a double in that game, so he did. The only problem was Josh Naylor went 0 for 5 at the plate. Don't think that's happening again. So I'm taking Luis Gil, higher than 1.5 earned runs. Jose Ramirez, higher than half a total base. Josh Naylor, higher than half a total base. I know it's a little bit conservative. You just need a single knock from both of those Guardians batters, but in the realm of possibility. And honestly, I'm not building this slip for the payout. I'm building it for its likelihood of hitting. I don't think Heel is going to have a great start on the road to the Guardians here. I think the fortunes are changing. I think Heel's a young pitcher, and he is kind of in uncharted territory here. So give me Ramirez and Naylor to each have a hit, as well as Luis Heel from the Yankees to allow higher than 1.5 earned runs. 2.23x multiplier. Again, nothing huge, nothing big, but let's just get it home and collect that win and roll that money over into some of these other slips. So let's get to Saturday. We've got another college football slip. We're going to go with Cade Klubnik, higher than 2.5 passing touchdowns against Wake Forest. I know that Clemson was left for dead after week 1 where they got destroyed by Georgia. Since then, Cade Klubnik has rebounded to the extent that he's now a Heisman candidate. And for him to keep that up, he needs to keep on tearing it up through the air. 2.5 passing touchdowns. Okay, he needs to throw for 3 touchdown passes in this game. Obviously, that's in the realm of possibility. Obviously, they're going to try to run up the score here. And they're still trying to wash that bad taste out of their mouth from week 1. And as their opponents, it's not been fun playing against this Clemson team as a weaker opponent. So give me Klubnik higher than 2.5 passing touchdowns here. Really, the only thing that would stop them from doing this would be play calling if they just play really conservative and don't pass the ball a lot. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think that Klubnik is going to be passing early and often. Next, we're going to go to Jeff Sims, getting the start for Arizona State on the road at Cincinnati. Jeff Sims is a quarterback that started at Georgia Tech, then he started at Nebraska, and now he is in Arizona State. In his previous 2 stints, he had a reputation for being a very good athlete, a very good runner with the ball, and a turnover machine. I don't think that's going to stop here. Getting a road start for Jeff Sims, interception. Just put it in your slip. Jeff Sims, interception. It's kind of like a flow chart play. Is Jeff Sims starting? Yes. Is he going to turn the ball over? Yes. Is it going to be an interception? More than likely, but if you can get a fumble pick, you know what, throw that in there too, because Jeff Sims is turning the ball over in this game. A road start for Jeff Sims, it's just too easy. Last one, we're going to go with Kevin Jennings, SMU quarterback, higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns at Stanford. Stanford's defense was looking really weak last time we saw them. VT, who is, I think, not a great team, was able to go up to the farm and push these boys around. They were to pass all over. They were to run and pass all over them. So give me Kevin Jennings, higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. This is a juiced up pick as well, so you're getting a little bit of extra value on that. This 3-pick slip: Cade Klubnik higher than 2.5 passing touchdowns. Jeff Sims higher than 0.5 or 0.5 interceptions. And Kevin Jennings higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns, 5.93x. All right, let's go to UFC on Saturday. We're going to go with Robelis Despaigne. He is a heavyweight taekwondo master who can't wrestle at all, and he's going against a guy named Austin Lane, who had a short stint in the NFL. Austin Lane, not a very good fighter. He can get takedowns every once in a while, but Despaigne just needs to be trying to attack him on his way in. Despaigne has no reason not to get a KO versus this guy. Many worse fighters have gotten KOs versus Austin Lane. So give me Robelis Despaigne to get a KO early on this fight card. Next, we're going to go to Gene Matsumoto to win via finish, or as it says on Underdog, higher than 0.5 finishes against Brad Katona. Against Brad Katona. Katona is a grinder. He's a guy that tries to win the fight by just laying on you, leaning on you, putting pressure on you. Matsumoto is a sharpshooter. He's a striker. He's a submission artist. He's got plenty of ways to get this thing done. I think that basically it'll be similar to the last fight we saw to Matsumoto when he fought against Dan Argueta. Argueta came out guns blazing. Matsumoto lasted, and then Argueta gassed himself out, and Matsumoto was able to get the finish. I feel like that's going to happen against Brad Katona here. Katona's obviously a hard guy to get out of there, but Matsumoto is just that special of a prospect. Last one. Anthony Fluffy Hernandez to win via finish against Michel Pereira. Michel Pereira has had some awesome finishes in his last several fights. He's been fighting nobodies. Anthony Hernandez is a guy that will keep on coming. You think he's out of the fight, and then he finishes you. I think that's going to happen in the main event here. So these 3 picks: Robelis Despaigne to have higher than 0.5 knockouts, Anthony Hernandez higher than 0.5 finishes, and Gene Matsumoto higher than 0.5 finishes, 7.03x multiplier. Lastly, let's get to our Sunday NFL slip. Mandatory Montgomery. Shout out to Brad Evans from BetMGM. Noisy Huevos on Twitter. He came up with the name Mandatory Montgomery. Montgomery scores a touchdown basically every game. This is a division game for the Lions at the Vikings. Give me Montgomery higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns. Next, we're going to Drake London to have higher than 0.5 rushing plus receiving touchdowns against the Seahawks. The don't look now, but the Kirk Cousins and Drake London, era has begun, and there's been a real. Those guys have been linking up for real lately. I like that. I think that this is going to keep on going. Then the last one, we're going to add Kyren Williams, higher than 0.5 touchdowns for the Rams. Rams coming off a bye. Cooper Kupp probably back, so things should be opening up a little bit for Kyren Williams. And he's just a dynamic playmaker, one of the best running backs in the league. So give me him to score a touchdown. This is a 4x multiplier. Nothing too crazy, but let's just get it done. So David Montgomery touchdown, Drake London touchdown, Kyren Williams touchdown, 4x multiplier. Again, if you're new to Underdog, sign up with promo code DailyDog, get that 50% deposit magic bonus. That's all I've got for you. Happy 100 episodes. Thanks for listening, and let's make some money.